I ran up a check, I might do it again. Enemies close, had me thinking they're friends. 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up,
So I'm actually a fourth engineering student at Delhi Technological University. I'm a pretty avid competitive programmer. I'm like a expert rated on Codeforces, and um, I actually worked with a couple of startups. Since my third year of college, like tech curators and Girl Scripts, an open source organization. And from September, I've been working with Stader Labs as a blockchain developer, and I also have some project management experience at Placefit. It is actually uh, at tech company that started by my college's seniors, and I'll be joining Visa as a software development engineer from June. So, and I play chess a lot. Like recently won a chess tournament in my college, and I'm like pretty active in my college's chess team. And apart from that, my interest that I've been, I would say, would be programming and maths and chess. I play table tennis from time to time. So yeah, this is pretty much sums up my introduction.
It's super cool. So you are more toward coding, programming, and then after startup, right?
Yeah, thing is, during my third year, I had no experience. So, like big companies and firms, weren't showing any interest with me. So I kind of didn't had any option, like other than working for, startups and first build some experience.
That's great.
Yeah.
And how many startups that you have been working with now?
Um, I would say it's like close to five, six startups now, like not more than that. I've been actually part of some open source organizations too, like Mozilla Campus Club and QXR Research and NVIDIA Gameworks. So, like, I'm pretty active there too.
So you build a smart contract, or what do you do for those startups?
Yeah, for those startups, no, generally my profile, tangles upon, things like software development and, the smart contract thing. It is actually is a set of codes written in Rust or some other low level languages that can be run on a blockchain. So I've been working on smart contracts, since September on my position on like while I was working, and I'm working as on blockchain development at Stader Labs. So regarding smart contracts, they are utilized there, and for the other previous startups, most of my work, focused upon general software development, and in placefit and tech creators, my role was more inclined towards and cut short. My roles were more inclined towards making problem questions and reviewing problem questions for coding assessments for hiring processes.
That's great. And you have been
Yeah.
working on those startups. And what do you found the difference on those startups? And what do you found the common on those startups?
Yeah, one thing that I like have noticed that most of the startups that I've worked on had flat hierarchy. Like I can contact anyone inside that organization, and that compared to a big organization that isn't like feasible in a big MNC. And apart from that, like the work is really fast paced. We have to crush the deadlines, and like also thing is like our work isn't that focused towards any one domain. Thing is we have to keep shifting our our domains, wherever there is a need for a human resource, we have to complete that in a startup. In a big MNC, we are directed towards the team, and then we have to work on it. and work on that specific domain that team works on. But in startups, what I've normally noticed is that you have to wear a lot of hats and work in a lot of different tech. So for instance, as in working at Stader Labs, I had worked on blockchain development. I've done scripting and TypeScript. I've written scripting codes for Prisma DB, Storm DB. I haven't worked in these database systems and in these scripting languages before. And after that, I had to switch to front end because I had to work on a UI. On a UI project related to React. I had to work with API generation and API creation and Postman. So like the work is really varied because since startups generally have small teams, those small teams have to manage all the things related to software development.
So you develop that skill during the during while doing the intern, or I mean while doing the work, or you still, I mean, you already have those skill.
Yeah, thing is regarding those skills, I after the end of my second year and commencement of my third year, I haven't you know not a commencement a little later than the commencement of my third year. I haven't actually stopped working. Like I've been constantly working at different startups. Even during my placements, I was working as a technical reviewer, tech curator. So you know. Thing was during that time I only was focused on two things to like do competitive programming and regularly give contests and keep like working in these startups and uh, because I was for me experience I gained there was like really valuable to build up my resume and I had to do CP2 because like the assessments of companies for recruitment processes require that. So I guess my skills my development skills were I inculcated them through working in startups and my problem solving skills I got that from computer programming.
Doing the startups, how they can, I mean, approach to those companies to work with them.
Yeah, for that thing is, I actually was pretty lucky that the startups that I applied for the positions they were looking for pretty much like overlapped with my skills. So like like I was lucky there. But for working with startups, normally what happens is that they can't put much resources into hiring no, like checking problem skills of a person and and like making them training them in the like tech stack that they're working. So what they normally look for is like someone who is actually working in the or is familiar with the tech stack that they're working on, and then they hire it and they can immediately be utilized. So for instance like if you're working in UI and like you have interest in UI, so what a beginner should do is they should start looking for UI related like startups open positions, and they should apply for it. But there are actually some pretty good startups too that just check problem solving skills and and hire on the basis of that. So like it kind of more depends on the attitude of the team that does the hiring at that company or firm. So if they are just looking for good problem solvers and thinking that they'll manage the training later of that candidate. So like it may work that you should only be well versed with DSA, data structures, algorithms, and other theory related computer science subjects. And if not, then you should be familiar with different tech stacks. But what I'd suggest is instead of different tech stacks, choose one tech stack. Like if you want to work as a full stack engineer, choose a stack. If you want to work in UI, choose one UI framework and get really well versed with it.
Got it. And what kind of the startups that are the focusing on the blockchain especially, and what they are solving?
Yeah, see, thing is, these blockchain-related startups, what they're solving is they are, they normally, they actually create decentralized application called dApps. So, what they want to do is they want to decentralize the applications and, other things like, they want to decentralize finance. They want to, they are now decentralized games are coming up. So, what they want to do is, these decentralized applications, approval transactions work on the consensus algorithm there. So, what happens there is that not one central entity can, dictate what happens with that application or what happens inside that application. So, this is what they're trying to achieve. I guess, making the users have the power to, of having control over that application instead of some central entity. Yeah. Yeah. So, for instance, like to be honest, blockchain is nothing. Just thing is, it's just a database, which like shared among all the nodes in that computer network. So it is actually a distributed one because what happens is that is it actually shares information electronically, in a digital format. And thing is, right now they are, primarily used for cryptocurrency systems and cryptocurrency, deployment of cryptocurrency tokens and, exchanging it in things called DEX, decentralized exchanges. So what happens there is that, approval of transactions and, verification and validation of transactions, happens with a general consensus of, all the nodes in that network. No centralized entity, can dictate if, some transactions are valid or some transactions are not. So, like this is, I guess, is the problem that they're trying to solve.
Got it. And in your opinion, how many startups have emerged based on the blockchain and crypto space? Can you specify the number that you have known?
I honestly can't give you a number. Like a lot of startups, are popping up here and there, based on these technology. And in India, we had a couple of unicorns like CoinSwitch and I guess WazirX is India based. I'm like not entirely sure. Like some unicorn startups are popping up in India based on which primarily focus on this technology. So I guess like interest is there is a great deal of interest in this space here in India and in uh, uh, international tech space too.
Okay, watching those unicorns like Coin Suisse and Wazirex or those, I mean, there will be the small startups that have been emerged watching those unicorns. And so, can you elaborate on those startups? What, if you have, in your opinion?
Yeah. Regarding that, I think is like since like it this blockchain technology hasn't been here for long. It's still kind of a new technology. So I guess it's like pretty good level playing field for the new joinees to like the new entrance of the the new entries of this you know tech phase, like some new startups. I think they have they too if their product has enough interest from the end users, and they are able to generate interest from investors. I think they too can be pretty successful in this field because like even though like a lot of good like big companies have emerged from this space, it's still kind of like I won't say infancy, but like it hasn't this field hasn't matured.
Yeah. Okay. And now let's talk about the funding side. How the startups will get the funding, and how they will um, they will utilize that funding on the resources basis. And if they don't get the funding on the time, or if they don't get the funding, how they will survive?
Yeah, the thing is, I haven't, actually, been involved in pitching an idea to investor, like trying to secure funding, but I do have a like little idea of like how it goes. So it goes like this, like um, they are kind of venture capitalists and angel investors, which try to look for companies, in their early stages, and try to fund them for a portion of their company. So the new players who are trying to like make it big, and trying to establish their company, what they'll do is they'll kind of come up with a prototype, or have a working product which is used by people, and try to secure funding. So they'll approach these investors. Now after that, what will happen is, if they secure it, like that be their series A funding, and that be the initial investment, apart from the money that has been put up by the founders themselves, that they'll use it to for the betterment of their product. But what I have noticed is that generally they use it for for increasing their reach. Um what like investors want from the early startups is just growth. Like they want it to be as big as it can be as fast as possible. So after that, there are like some big investors come in and they see, like, based on the backing of the first investment they get and the growth that they're having, they can they can have their Series B funding, in which some big investors would come in, and then they'll try to you know secure a funding from them. So this is usually how it goes. Um, and regarding if not able to secure the funding, then in that case, like founders have to come up with capital themselves to ensure that their company like runs its course, like I don't know, like what else they can do, like apart from coming up with the capital themselves, because running a business takes money.
Start your one startup based on the blockchain or anything that you are interested in, how would you formulate your plans and actions? What are the do's or don'ts that you would apply on your startups?
I'll like, yeah, the first thing is I should come up with a good product or idea for a product, and the one thing that I like focus on a lot is good founding team. Good people who are motivated. I think that a good team is like even more important than a good idea in creating up a company, or starting up a company. So like I'll look for a good team, and you also like try to manage some startup capital for for this. Like we'll try to come up with that ourselves, or try to convince someone else to put up some capital for this. And yeah, apart from this, and also in blockchain space, there are like like regarding that, there are a lot of blockchains that are currently live, and we can utilize it to create our dapps. Like I primarily work on Terra blockchain, but they are like Mirror protocol, Ethereum blockchain, Solana blockchain. So they kind of ease out the development process, and like have a lot of resources available for free, and they kind of encourage new folks to create products for their blockchain, create dapps for their blockchain. So I guess like this is a new and exciting emerging space.
And now let's talk about the staking part. This is the interesting one. And as transactions are validated by the people who are literally invested in the blockchain through the staking, right? So the
Yeah.
network chooses the validator based on the size of their stake and the length of the time they have waited. So the most invested participants are the rewarded as they have invested. So my question over here is, Do all the people who does this taking on the passive income or not?
Do all the people who are in staking do what?
Passive income or not?
Oh, okay, yeah. So, with staking, what happens is that they would get an API for it. So it can be considered as a, like passive income. Like you would stake your, crypto assets, into, like different validators, and like you'd get, your rewards and airdrops back in, like in proportion of like what amount of what amount of assets you have like put in. So yeah, it can be considered as a passive income. And also thing is, like in currencies which actually support like blockchains which actually support staking, are like there are two classes of cryptocurrency. One is proof of work, and a big example of it is Bitcoin. But the currencies which actually provide staking, work on a different consensus algorithm, that is consensus protocol, that is a proof of stake protocol. So what happens there is like a small number of validators, which do have a minimum bar of number of assets that they need to be able to become a validator. And as a normal as someone who wants to get in on the action, what they can do is they can either be get that amount of assets, the minimum number of assets that is required to become a validator. For instance, in Ethereum, it is 32 Ethereum coins. It is that number is required to be a validator. Or what you can do is you can actually delegate your assets to a validator. Now, yeah, what will happen there is, like the amount of, rewards that validator will get, it will be equally distributed on the people who have delegated their assets to it. Now, yeah, now what happens, with staking is that, actually, it is kind of a staking pool. So in proof of work protocol, what happens is that there is a mining pool in which, you know, like the nodes will try to validate a transaction. One who gets it done first, will receive a reward. But since nature of due to nature of POS protocol, proof of stake protocol, there can be um, different benefits to someone who stake their currencies, stake their assets in air. One of things is that the pool actually handles the operational aspect of staking. For instance, in mining, you have to maintain your machine, and you have to pay for the electricity charges, and all the other aspects related to handling, related to cost incurred due to operation of the staking. So in staking pool, you don't have to handle it. Just some portion of rewards is cut as an operational piece that the validator gets. And thing is, also those pools actually, the staking pools actually have a reserved amount of assets which can be used for immediate withdrawal. So you know like you can more easily provide liquidity to your portfolio there. And thing is, those stake coins can actually be used for other applications. So these, I think, is like the benefits that users who opt for staking, you know for staking mechanism, focus on more than just getting those APY returns.
And what are the risks that may arises while
Yeah, one of the risks that you can have, is that there's actually a validator, if it tries to do fraudulent transactions, it will actually incur some penalties for it. It can also, for some amount of time, can be jailed. That means that they cannot verified transactions on the blockchain. So like those penalties are in form of those penalties are in form of fees that they have to pay because of like trying to do some malicious stuff, or those penalties can act also be because of the validator system has gone down, like it isn't online, or they have tried double signing a transaction, and trying to sign a fraudulent transaction. So if you as a user have delegated your asset to some validator which has incurred a penalty, then your portion of rewards too would also incur a penalty.
What, in your experience till now that you have felt, what is the one thing that you have done best and that you have done worst based on these stuffs?
Yeah, so I kind of not been involved that much in the tokenomics of these currency. Like I'm not actually that actively active in trading and holding of these assets and staking these assets. I actually have normally just work on the development side of it. So like the best thing that I'll consider is like there's actually an open source smart contract hosted by like hosted by Stader Labs that goes by the name Know Your Validator. It actually is you know a smart contract that can be used to get different kind of that can be used to get different kind of information regarding some validator. Like if it has incurred some penalties, like what is its voting power, and like what assets it has, like it can be used to access that. And regarding the worst task, can be like all the things that I worked on that haven't gone online. No, I haven't been in production. I'll consider them that.
You have talked about open source, like smart contract, right? Is that the platform or what? Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, like in like not a platform. It actually is a smart contract that was developed by the Stader Labs team, and I worked on that too. That was developed by that team, and it actually is open source. That means that anybody can deploy it on the Terra blockchain, and anybody can integrate it into their application. It is like anybody can use it to develop applications. So in a kind of a it is actually like regarding like in general open source, actually what it does is it is there to speed up the development process, and advance the development process for any software or any framework. So like it kind of is like the giving is like giving back. So like since there was no good good enough smart contract available for this task, so we created and made it open source so that it can be used by other organizations and other individuals, so that they can integrate it to the app. For it like for like KYC, it is like knowing your validate. Its literal full form is KYV, know your validator. It is used to get different kind of info regarding each validator on a Terra blockchain, and it is free to use by other people, and can integrate into their like applications.
Okay. Now let's move on to the next final question, and it would be like, if a person is starting out with a, yeah, it's similar to the previous question that I have already asked, but I will ask. If a person is starting out with the coding, especially in the Rust, the programming language, to get into the blockchain space through it, and what suggestion would you like to give to him or her in the term of the do's and don'ts that he or she should do and shouldn't do? Yeah.
Okay. So the thing with me is that I didn't have any risk experience before joining Stader. So thing is, all of the coding assessments, and they asked me a lot like some theory questions, and all the coding assessments they gave me, I did it in C, like C++, because they wanted me to do that in a low level language, because Rust is a low level language. So um, the thing is, like regarding Rust, I didn't had that much problem, shifting to that language. But that also, has this fact also has to be considered, that I was like very active in competitive programming, so it kind of helped me there. And you know, its syntax isn't that much different from other low level languages, so it kind of helped me there. So what the new freshers in this field, what I would suggest them is that learn one object oriented language and one scripting language, and after that it will be really easy for them to shift to other languages. Like if you learn for instance Python or JavaScript as a scripting language, and I guess C++ or you know C++ or some other low level languages, or other low level language as object oriented language, then it will uh, like they'll be like pretty much ready for working in this field.